Hey, what is up, everybody? This is the Great Puckettini coming at you on behalf of PuckettFanShop.com. And over at PuckettFanShop.com, that's my website where I sell these beautiful dog designs. And I put these beautiful dog designs on stickers and shirts and hoodies and hats and anything you can think of. Socks are a good seller too. So head on over there to PuckettFanShop.com after you watch this video. I'd love to do business with you. But what I got for you here on this video today is the keys to victory for the Dallas Cowboys versus the Detroit Lions this coming Sunday. So this is what the Dallas Cowboys need to do to get a big win, get a big W. All right, number one, they must win the turnover battle. You know, this is probably the number one key in the NFL. Is the team that commits the most turnovers usually gets beat. So Dallas is at +2 in the turnover differential, which means they have they forced two more turnovers than they've committed, and then Detroit is -2. So Dallas needs to keep that up, and that'll be a big stat for them if they can force Detroit to turn the ball over, and then they protect the ball. So must win the turnover battle. All right, key to victory number 2. Dallas must slow down slot receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I hope I said his name right. But anyway, I'm going to just call him Brown. Brown leads them in catches with 27 catches for 271 yards, which is right at 10 yards per catch, which is not a whole lot, but that's a first down every time he catches the ball. So we really need to limit his catches. He has a 79% overall grade offensively, 77% receiving grade. So you can see he's a good receiver in the 70s. It's pretty good. He'll be matched up against Jordan Lewis more than likely, and Lewis has not had a real great year this year in coverage. He's graded out at 50% in coverage, and then Deron Bland has been worse than that in the 40s. His backup, so Jordan Lewis has to play a lot better. Needs to show up and play a lot better coverage to slow down Mr. Brown there, because we do when they won their one game, he had a pretty big game for him. All right, key to victory number 3: we must slow down wide receiver Josh Reynolds. Now, whereas Brown was in the slot, Reynolds is more of a wide receiver, wide out. He leads them in receiving yards. He has a 76% receiving grade, which is really good. He has 23 catches for 335 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he averages 14.6 yards per catch, which is, a little bit better than Brown. So he's a good receiver there. He likes to work the left side of the field in the middle. So, he'll be going against Trayvon Diggs a lot, who grades out about 73%. Should be a good battle between them two. Also, Anthony Brown grades in there at about 67, which is pretty good, a little bit under the 70 mark. And our linebackers, Leighton Vander Esch will be one of them too, and he's usually pretty good in coverage. So Dallas must play well, must find him and Brown. Don't let them have big games. We've got to be able to know where they are. Make them throw to somebody else. All right, key to victory number 4 is we have to get pressure on Jared Goff. When he's pressured, Goff only completes 49% of his passes. Okay, I believe that's right, or he grades out at 49%, but there's a big difference there. Now, he completes 64% of his passes when he's kept clean. So, yeah, when he's getting pressured, he only completes 49% of his passes. When he's kept clean, he completes 64%. But one thing is, he does real good if you blitz him. I think I'm going to talk about that here a little bit later. So we don't want to blitz him. We'd like to get rushed with our front 4 and get pressure on him. If we can get pressure on him, move him, pressure him, hit him, maybe not a sack, but hit him. He only completes 49% of his passes, so it's really important our front 4 gets a lot of pressure on him. In their losses, the Lions have had a real tough time protecting him. They've had their pass blocking has been bad. So when we get a lot of pressure on Goff, make him have a bad day. All right, key to victory number 5 is our front 4 must create pass rush. That's what I was alluding to in the last one. Goff does pretty well against the blitz, but not very well under pressure. So he does a good job. He's a seasoned veteran, and he knows when you're blitzing and where to throw the ball. Throw it where they're coming from a lot of times. and he does good with that. So you don't want to blitz him a whole lot. So it's very important that we get pressure from our front four. You know, Michael Parsons, Dante Fowler, DeMarcus Lawrence, Osa needs to have a big game, and Dorrance Armstrong. They need to get pressure on Goff without us having to blitz. Because if we have to blitz, he'll end up burning us with Brown or Reynolds. We don't want that. So we need to get pressure those front four guys. It's very important. All right. Key to victory number 6 is we must be able to run the ball well. Dallas must be able to run the ball well. The line's grade out in the 50s and below in run defense in games they've lost. So when they've lost, teams have really run the ball well against them. So Elliott and Pollard really need to have big games, together. We need to run the ball very well, like we did against Philadelphia. Ran the ball pretty good against them. Detroit's front seven is not near as good as Philadelphia's, so we should be licking our chops. I say that, but I'll talk about the offensive line here in a little bit. All right, key to victory number 7 is we must protect the quarterback. And I guess it's going to be Dak Prescott. I've heard everybody's been saying he's going to start, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. The big thing when we have the ball, we got to find Aiden Hutchinson and make sure he gets blocked. Versus Washington in their only win, he had 3 sacks. Can't let him do that to us. And that's a little bit scary because we've been struggling a little bit too in our pass blocking. The rest of the defense not done a good job sacking the QB. I think the next closest one has like 1 sack. A couple of them have a sack. So they haven't been rushing the passer very well. Hutchinson is definitely the best. But, Tyler Smith's been struggling a little bit here lately. He gave up a couple plays against the Eagles, and he's they've struggled pass blocking, him and Farniok as well on that left side. So, and we've been playing Connor McGovern over there too, and he struggled a little bit too the other night. So we've got to shore up that offensive line. We've got to protect our quarterback. All right, key to victory number 8 is we must be able to pass the ball well. Okay, Dak's coming back, and it scares me a little bit with his touch, throwing good balls. The receivers can catch them. His accuracy needs to be on point. We need to pick on corner Jeffrey Okudah. He grades out about 54% in pass coverage, which is very low. That's not good at all. So we need to pick on him. We also need to pick on their slot corner Mike Hughes. He grades out at 43% in pass coverage. And we also need to pick on corner Amani Uweri. I'm sorry I'm butchering these names. I know there's some hard names to pronounce. He grades out at 29%. Amani does. So we need to pick on those 3 guys. We need to be able to run the ball. We need to be able to pass it. We need to have a big game offensively. Detroit has lost those 3 or 4 games they've lost. They only won 1 game, but the ones they've lost, the other team has basically outscored them. They've got a really good offense, Detroit does, so you got to match them. Defense is not as good, don't look to be. Their pass coverage is kind of bad. Run defense is not very good either. So defense is the weak spot. So you're going to have to score some points and do good offensively to beat them. Number 9, key to victory number 9 is Cavante Turpin needs to have a big game. The Lions allow 9 yards per punt return, and that's right where you want to average. If you're a punt returner, you want to average 10 or above. That basically means you're getting a first down every time you return the punt, and that starts your offense off in a good field position. So, Turpin should be licking his chops, and he should have a big game returning punts. But we're going to have to make them punt, first of all, and that's going to be hard to do because Detroit's got a really good offense. But when we do make them punt, Turpin needs to turn it on, get us some big plays, and he can do it. He shows flashes. He can do it. All right. Key to victory number 10 is our offensive line must run block better. I alluded to this earlier. Contrary to what the media's been telling about how great they've been blocking for Cooper Rush and they didn't do that for Dak, that's really not true. When you look at the numbers, they've struggled. When you look at run blocking especially, our right tackle, Terrence Steele, has been the best at 77%. And that's good. 77% is good, but shouldn't be your best guy. He should be up in the 80s. Zach Martin's been at 58% run blocking on the season. Tyler Biotish, our center, he's at 55%. That's bad. Tyler Smith's been at 63%. That's not real good. McGovern and Farniok are both in the 40s. That's terrible. So we have to get better at running the ball to beat the Lions. Like I say, the media wants you to believe that the offensive line just done a great job, and everybody's just been carrying Cooper Rush. But offensive line has been struggling, really, guys. They have not graded out very well, which was kind of surprising to me. But I noticed Rush did get a lot of pressure against Philadelphia. They were after him pretty good, and some of these other games they have too. Some of these other teams. So offensive line's definitely got to play better this week. Offense has got to be going. You got to match scores with Detroit. They're going to score. They're going to move the ball. We got to do it too, okay, if we're going to get a big win. And, guys, that's all I got. That's my 10 keys to victory for the Dallas Cowboys. Thanks so much for watching this video. Come back to the Great Puckettini channel and check out my other videos. I talk about the Cowboys and the Razorbacks, Arkansas Razorbacks, Dallas Cowboys, and go over to PuckettFanShop.com and check out my beautiful dog designs. I think you really like them, and I'd love to do business with you. It's great for presents for you. Christmas will be coming up pretty soon, and be great presents for somebody that loves their dog. I promise you I got stuff for you. If I don't have it, send me a message. I'd love to do business with you. Thanks so much, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Go Cowboys.